Hey, what is going on, Twintendo Nation? Hope you're having an awesome day. Now recently I made a video about my top 10 hopes for Generation 8 and you guys seem to really enjoy that type of video. Now in that video my hopes were stuff I'd like Pokemon to either bring back or improve upon for the next main series game. However, a few of my hopes were brand new additions that have never been done before in a Pokemon game. So in today's video I thought I'd go into a bit more detail about that concept and discuss my top 5 new features I'd like to see for Generation 8. Now, question of the day for you guys, what new features would you like to see for Pokemon Generation 8? Remember, it has to be something never before seen in a Pokemon game or a huge improvement on an existing feature that it might as well be a new feature. Now if you enjoyed this video and want to see more like this, make sure to drop it a like, and if you're new and like what you see, make sure to hit that subscribe button to become a part of the Twintendo Nation. And with all that out the way, let's start the video. So starting off our list is something I mentioned in my last Generation 8 video, but thought I'd go into more detail with it here. These are costumes for player customization. Now when I say costumes, I mean clothes from previous games that are iconic. These can include past trainers like Red and Gold's clothes, evil teams like Team Rocket's and Team Galactic's uniforms, and even Pokemon trainers' clothes like Youngsters and Ace Trainers. Now wearing evil teams' uniforms isn't something brand new, but it has been very particular over the years. So in Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, you get to wear a Team Rocket uniform when you infiltrate the Goldenrod radio tower, although it's only like for 2 minutes, which is really disappointing as it looks super cool. Additionally, in Pokemon Sun and Moon you can get a Team Skull uniform, although unfortunately it is missing the iconic bandana, but it's close enough. But apart from those two outfits, there haven't been any other iconic costumes you can wear, especially costumes from past games, as the Team Skull uniform is available in the game that it debuted in, and same with the Team Rocket one in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. So if these costumes existed in the next Pokemon main game, how would you go about unlocking them? Well, for the trainer costumes like the Youngsters, Ace Trainers, Fishermen and so on, I would just allow the players to buy them from a clothes store, as I can't imagine the demand for them will be as high as previous main character clothes and evil team costumes. And speaking of the evil team's costumes, you could unlock them by spending battle points at whatever facility Generation 8 includes, whether that's something like a battling area like the Battle Frontier and Battle Maison, or it's a mini game like the Mantine Surf. And as for the previous protagonist costumes, I would see them as a reward for completing a certain region's Pokedex. So for example, if you collect all of Hoenn's Pokedex, you'll get Brendan and May's costumes from Pokemon Ruby as well as their Emerald alternative colours. And if you complete the Unova Pokedex, you get Hilbert and Hilda's costumes from Pokemon Black and White, as well as Nate and Rose's clothes from Black and White 2. You could also include Gym Leaders and Elite Four members' clothes. There are so many possibilities for customization. If you guys could wear a costume from an older Pokemon game, what would it be? Would you go for a past main character, evil team member, gym leader, or something else entirely? I think personally I'd wear the classic Team Magma uniform from Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, or the Team Rocket uniform from Gold and Silver. But I'd love to hear what you guys think, so let me know in the comments below. Next up is a new feature that would help improve the online battling scene, as well as help getting trainers into competitive battling. This is an online tournament mode. So for a long time we've had Pokemon tournaments happen around the world, with qualifiers, regionals and world championships. However, this tournament feature I envisage is something a little more low-key, that's more for fun than deciding world titles. So why do I want an online tournament feature? Well, for the longest time I've grown bored of the standard pattern of the Pokemon League, which is to obtain all 8 gym badges, beat the Elite Four and the champion. Now don't get me wrong, it's still fun to complete, but I've always loved the anime's take on the Pokemon League more, which was hundreds of elite trainers coming together into one area to see how good their Pokemon really are. What I loved about this is that it gives off a strong message of community and how multiple people share the same simple goal, to become the very best trainer. Now I don't see Game Freak changing the Pokemon League's format anytime soon, and I don't think they should, as their Pokemon League format has become a very important tradition. However, I still think a tournament mode alongside the usual Pokemon League would be fantastic. So some of you might be asking, just how would this online tournament mode work? If any of you guys have played the Weekend League on FIFA 18 Ultimate Team, this concept is going to sound very similar, and for those who never have, let me explain. Firstly, I would make this tournament a weekly occurrence, with different prizes to be won each week. Now to qualify for this tournament, you're going to have to win 5 online matches in a row, which is no easy feat. The reason for this is to make it feel like an authentic Pokemon League, where trainers must win the preliminaries to advance to the next stage. Now don't worry if you lose along the way, you will have a lot of attempts to qualify. Now once qualified, the main tournament will take place on Saturday and Sunday. During this time you'll have around 30 to 50 battles to compete in. The more battles you partake in, the better your rewards will be, and the more wins you obtain, the better your rewards will be as well. So after all your matches, depending on how many battles you completed and how many you won, you will receive different prizes. Now I haven't really thought too much about what prizes you could obtain, but I'd personally like to see exclusive clothing, similar to what was mentioned earlier, brand new unique Pokeball designs, and maybe some really cool customization items you can show off for your secret base or the underground or something like that if that makes a return for Generation 8. So that's my idea for an online tournament mode. I still haven't ironed out all the details, but I'd love to see something like this make an appearance in Generation 8. Let me know in the comments what you think of this tournament plan, and also let me know what rewards you would like to see. If any of you guys want to draw some pictures of rewards like new Pokeball designs or customization items, feel free to send me them on Twitter. The link to my profile is in the description below. Taking the number 3 spot is a new feature that lots of shiny hunters will love the sound of. This is alternate shiny Pokemon. So in the last 2 generations we've seen brand new forms of older Pokemon that have originated in Kalos and Alola. These forms are Mega Evolutions and Alola forms, and with Pokemon expanding on the different types of Pokemon, it wouldn't be a surprise to see some new type of form make an appearance in the next region. Now what I suggest for a new form and a new feature are these alternate shiny Pokemon, essentially a brand new shiny variant for every single Pokemon. Now these shiny Pokemon forms wouldn't replace the older shiny forms, in fact it would be quite the opposite. These new shiny variants would be one of the possibilities you could find when shiny hunting for Pokemon. In my personal opinion, I think we're due new shiny forms simply because of the increasing popularity of shiny hunting. There are many trainers out there who have collected hundreds of shiny Pokemon who only look forward to getting shinies of the new generation's Pokemon as they've collected the majority of the older ones. So imagine one day you find out there are more than 800 brand new shiny Pokemon for you to collect. How incredible does that sound? The great part about adding new shiny forms in a new region is that Game Freak have used the excuse of a region's geography, like the climate and a Pokemon's diet, for changing a Pokemon's appearance, so I'm sure they can make an explanation for new shiny Pokemon appearing. If Game Freak really wanted to, they could call these shiny forms something new entirely, as they might have different odds to the usual shiny Pokemon, which in the last main Pokemon series games, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, was 1 in 4096. So for these new shinies, Game Freak could either give them the same odds as current shiny Pokemon, or an increased odds to make them even rarer. Let me know what you guys think of the alternate shiny Pokemon ideas in the comments. Definitely want to hear from you shiny hunters as well. Following on from alternate shiny Pokemon is a new feature that will only appear depending on how Generation 8 actually looks and plays. This is a photo mode. Now yes, before anyone mentions it, we have had ways to take pictures of ourselves and our Pokemon before. We've had the photographer in Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, who appears in set locations, the Rotom camera in Pokemon Sun and Moon, which takes pictures of wild Pokemon, and the Alola Photo Club in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. However, what I'm suggesting is something a little bit different. This type of photo mode would be something similar to the one from Super Mario Odyssey. So for those who don't know how the camera function works in Odyssey, it's very simple. All you do is press the down button on the D-pad and you have complete freedom to take pictures. You can spin the camera 360 degrees, change the angle, zoom, blur the background, and even add filters. I can't even imagine this game without this function. So imagine how cool it would be to have a camera mode that you can use at a press of a button to take some amazing photos. More recent games are starting to capitalise on people's desire to take photos, such as Horizon Zero Dawn and the Shadow of the Colossus remake. Since it looks like we won't be getting a sequel to Pokemon Snap anytime soon, this would fill the void better than any of the previous attempts in Pokemon games. Now do remember, I did say at the start of this point it does depend on how Generation 8 will look and play. What I mean by this is that if you can't rotate the camera when playing, which is something Pokemon has never done, then I don't see much point to this feature. However, since the Nintendo Switch has dual thumbsticks, it would be a big opportunity missed if they didn't introduce this new camera mechanic. And if the game does have beautiful HD graphics, with Pokemon following behind you that all have different animations when they're out of their Pokeball, just imagine how many incredible photos you could take. I'd be taking so many pictures of my trainer and Pokemon, as well as the cities and routes I travelled along. For me, this would be an incredible addition to any game. Now, taking the number 1 spot is a new feature I can see every Pokemon fan wanting. This is an expanding and evolving story. After completing the stories to the majority of Pokemon games, I've not really found myself coming back to them, especially the newest games. Of course, there are things to do after you complete the main story, like catching all the Pokemon, shiny hunting, online battling, and so on. However, I just feel like there has been so much potential to continue Pokemon stories, and yet it still hasn't happened. Now, the only Pokemon story and world that has been expanded on in terms of a sequel is Pokemon Black and White in the form of Pokemon Black and White 2. Now, looking back at the end of Pokemon Sun and Moon, after you complete the main story, Lily leaves on a boat, never to be seen again. I personally thought that this story could have been continued in the form of DLC 6 months after the game had released. We could have had Lily return and a second chapter to the story occur, which honestly could have replaced Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon looking at it. Unfortunately though, we didn't really see any DLC on the Nintendo 3DS. However, already we've seen a lot of Nintendo Switch titles get bonus content, including extra story updates with DLC, such as Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So in my opinion, there isn't anything stopping Pokemon from doing the same. Now, I'll let you guys discuss whether you think extra story is something worth paying for, or whether it should be included in the first place, but while you guys do that, I'll explain how I think Game Freak should handle bonus story content. So there are 2 ways I can see them handling this. Firstly, the story will be updated in the form of DLC content. It's quite a common occurrence to release 2 pieces of DLC within 12 months, with a season pass being used to obtain both. As long as the DLC is cheaper than buying a sequel game like Pokemon Black and White 2 and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, then I think the majority of fans would be okay with this. Now, the second method Game Freak could handle an expanding story, albeit it's very unlikely, is to include the expanded story within the game's files but have it time locked. We saw something similar in Pokemon Sun and Moon as well as Ultra Sun and Moon. When you become the champion, different opponents will take you on depending how long you've been champion for. Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon took this a step further by including a time-locked cutscene when you beat Gladion in your title defense, who rarely appears 1 month after you defeat Ultra Necrozma. This time-locked cutscene takes place at the Aether Foundation and involves Gladion's mother and father, Lusamine and Moen. Although this style of releasing additional story content would please more fans since it's free, I just can't see Game Freak doing it, as players would receive the bonus story at different times. Still, regardless of how Game Freak would actually handle it, I think additional story is a must for the next Pokemon game, and that's why it makes it to number 1 on this list. So those are my top 5 new features I want to see for Generation 8. Let me know in the comments what you think of my list, and if you have some suggestions yourself, let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed today's video and want to see more like it, make sure to give the video a like, and if you like what I do and want to see more, then feel free to hit that subscribe button down below. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching, I hope you have an awesome day and I will see you on the next video. Peace!